All right, LSU Baseball, 2 midweek games this week. Southern in town. I keep saying in town. Southern's across town at the box tomorrow night. And then LSU traveling to Nichols Wednesday night. LSU Sports Radio Network, Eastern Kentucky in town this weekend for a 3-game set after LSU takes 2 of 1 from Indiana. Doug Thompson was on the call all weekend. Eagle 98.1 sitting alongside Patrick Wright. Great call this weekend, Dougie. Good morning. Opening to baseball season. Looking forward to our segment this season.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing this morning? Can you hear me okay? I'm in transit, so if you drop me, I'm around LaPlace. It might take about 10 seconds to pick me back up.
More concerning than the cell signal would sound like you're fighting a cold there, Dougie.
No, it's youth baseball third base coach syndrome. It's the voice you get after the first tournament of the year. Okay. When it's 9-year-old baseball and it's new to everybody, and we're pitching now, and balls are flying all over the place, and kids are running all over the place.
For somebody who couldn't wait to make fun of me a couple of weekends back when I got tossed out of a 9-year-old basketball game, sounds like you got a little emotional this weekend.
Well, no, not with the officials, right?
Okay.
Like, I respect all
The
officials.
kid walked.
I appreciate their time out there, and I've made mistakes before, like you did, showing your bottom out there on the basketball court. And I think what's missed in all of that story is true or false.
The passion.
No, true or false. Before that game, did I not come up to you and say, it's 50-50 in Vegas right now that one of you two get tossed from this game? Did I not say that?
This is a true story. It's a true story.
Sure as shooting. There goes JC out the front door. Call
me a modern-day Pete Rose. I know what's going on outside the games. Hey, Dougie, Cody Worsham saw all 3 games this weekend. He loves the ceiling of the LSU baseball team. You saw all 3 games. What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, I loved it until Sunday, or Saturday, the last game on Saturday, the third game. Although I did like what I saw from Labus. It looked like Labus and Marceau, it was either the, second or third time around in the order type deal going on, or they were losing it a little bit, especially Labus. I thought he was kind of losing his fastball there a little bit at the end. But when Jaden Hill came in, that may be the most electric stuff I've ever seen out there. I mean, that was like, holy smokes, right? Like, I think his first 5 or 6, 7 fastballs, at least by the gun on the radar, were over 97 miles an hour.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. What do you do with him, Doug? Doug, what do you do with Jaden Hill? Because you have to keep his health in mind early in the season. There's no doubt about that. But if he can make it through the first 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season, and that's a big if. We have to see. But if he can, is he a guy that you try to work into the rotation? Is he a guy that's better out of the bullpen? He seems like he's not a one-pitch guy. He's got multiple pitches. Is he a guy that maybe can work in there later in the season?
Well, this is likely his last year on campus, right? He's one of those guys. Is that not right?
A draft-eligible sophomore?
I think
I'll have to check on that.
Yeah,
I don't think he is. I know Cole Henry is.
Henry's draft-eligible. I think Jaden's got another year.
Cole Henry's gone. I mean, it's just he's gone.
For sure.
So Jaden Hill, so here's the deal. He could do either, and I know that's not the answer you want, but, like, he's kind of got that Zack Hess thing. He's a big kid. As a closer, that's intimidating coming in and out of the bullpen.
Doug, I said he'll strike 60, 70% out of the guys just by his intimidation factor.
Dude, he is a moose of a man. I mean, just a big dude. And coming in there throwing 98 with kind of a slow leg kick and zero effort, it's like, goodness gracious. I mean, I don't want to get this guy too angry, right? But then, I mean, he throws this changeup and curveball. It's just it's very unique. I mean, extremely unique. And I think he's so talented, Cody, that he could do either very easily at this level.
He is 20, by the way. Isn't that the rule if you're 20 as a sophomore?
I'm not real sure,
yeah.
But that was part of my so if I'm Paul Maneri, I'm like, okay, if I have him one more year, like if I just stay committed to the 8th and 9th inning, this guy's the ultimate stopper. But if he's going to be gone next year, then I want to get as many innings out of him as I can to help the team and the program, right? And that would be, of course, up at the front end. So it really just I part of it depends on how many runs we score the first 15, 20 games of the season. Because if we're going to go out there and put 7 or 8 runs on the board, and our margin of victory is 4 or 5 runs, and we're beating teams pretty good, then maybe the thought is to have him at the front end. But if we're playing 1-run games, which is the trend in college baseball, due to parity, due to bat changes and things of that nature, like you can check the numbers. 30% of games last year maybe ended in a one-run difference. So, I mean, if that's the case, then you got to have him on that back end to protect those very low-scoring games.
What did you see from Cole Henry on Friday night? It was his first time out since he left in the Super Regional. Only went 4 innings. They had a pitch count on him. But to get the number of strikeouts that he did, it looked like he was back to himself. Was that encouraging for you?
Extremely. And I don't think that if you asked him, I don't think he had his best curveball. I think that he left it up a few times, and I could tell he was kind of frustrated, but everything else was like big league stuff. I said before the game, I truly believe not only this kid's physical stuff, like what he had, the fastball, the curveball, the changeup, the 2-seamer, which is completely different than his 4-seamer, like 91, 92 miles an hour, running into a right-hander. But it's the poise. Like he's a minimum effort guy, and he looks like Nola out there. Like he's Nola, but maybe not. I think it's like Ali Frazier. It's like neck and neck. But Nola, maybe tips the scale on the precision command side, but Cole Henry throws the ball 2-3 miles an hour harder.
Yeah.
It's impressive. I mean, I think this kid has a chance to have one of the best seasons in LSU history.
Speaking of impressive, their options at catcher. What did you see there?
Like the Milazzo guy, he certainly lived up to the billing for me in terms of defense. But look, Saul Garza is one of those guys that's got to be, in the heart of the lineup. I mean, he's going to hit some homers. He's really he's not terrible behind the plate for sure. He's serviceable. But I say like late inning defensive replacement when you need to throw somebody out at second base to keep that 1-run lead. Milazzo, his pop time, which is the time the ball hits his mitt to the time it gets to second base, his pop time is average 1.89, which is unbelievable. That's like major league stuff.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to see his arm much except for the throwdown between innings, but that's a special talent behind home plate and an outstanding defensive substitution option for Paul Maneri.
DT9, Doug Thompson of the LSU Sports Radio Network, checking in with us every Monday morning, recapping and previewing the week ahead for the Tigers. Safe travels this morning, Dougie. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, there he is, Doug Thompson.